All right, customer states, ice cream's running warm. As you can see, we got all hands on deck. So we're gonna check this out. Man, there probably won't be much footage on the floor for this one. I don't know if y'all saw, but we got everybody on that aisle. We got the GCs, we got the store people. They're all helicoptering us, freaking out over that case. So I'll show what I can on the floor, but you know, I don't know. I'm still kind of weird about filming around people. I don't know, it makes me feel weird. But with this intermission, go ahead, fucking do the thing, like, subscribe, share, do the deal, you know what I mean? Do what all the others tell you to do. You can do it for them, you can do it for me, goddammit. All right, let's get back to it. All right, so this is I just noticed this is the case heater circuit. So I come over to this other panel and I'm looking at LTB, case anti-sweats, case fans are 1 and 3. Those are good, those aren't tripped. And then right here, B03 fans and lights. Where'd it go? Fans and lights, 27. 27's right here. If you notice, these are all to the right. This one is in the middle. That one's tripped. You see B03. So we know that it's something tripping the breaker on the fan and light circuit. So what we're gonna do right now is just turn this off. Right? You don't just want to be flipping breakers. Something caused it to trip. So now we're gonna go down and we're gonna focus on that fan and light circuit and see where we can find which case tripped it. All right, so I'm on top of these cases. I'm opening up these boxes. You can see I got 3 down there, this one right here. So initially what I'm looking for is the way that these cases are is they get their power into these breakers, right? Like this is defrost, solenoid lights, fans, whatever. So I'm looking initially just to see if any of these breakers are tripped to kind of narrow it down to any specific case. If none of them are tripped, then what we'll do is just turn off all these breakers, go up to the rack, flip that one on, and then start flipping breakers on until we find which one popped. This one is our defrost. Our defrost was still good. All right, we're getting 208 there. These are all single poles. So if I check from here to ground, nothing. Nothing. And nothing. So I got power on here on my defrost circuit. I don't have power on any 3 of these. So yeah, we're just gonna flip these off and then reset that breaker and then start turning these back on until it pops again. And we're back up in the motor room. So again, we have all those breakers off downstairs for B03 except for the defrost ones. Defrost should be good. None of my defrost breakers are tripped. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this one back on, and then I'm gonna give that guy that's with me, he's downstairs, he's up at the cases still. He's gonna start flipping on breakers until we find the one that trips this thing. So that's what we're gonna start going through right now. All right, so we flipped on all of the breakers downstairs. This thing didn't trip. So I'm gonna go back down and start checking some electrical stuff on those case controllers and on the cases. Obviously, as we all know, breakers don't just trip themselves. Something tripped it. If it happened once, it's gonna happen again, right? One of the worst things you could do is, if you have a tripped breaker or a blown fuse, one of the worst things you could do is just replace the fuse and bail, or flip the breaker and bail, because something caused it to trip. And it's our job to figure out what it was and to remediate that issue. So let's go back downstairs and see if we can figure it out. All right, so you can see now we got controllers online, pulling down the tent. So this is where the kind of hard part comes in to figure out why. So what I'm gonna do is start logging into these controllers, see exactly what time they went down, and see if I can't start tracing circuits to figure out where we went out at. All right, so I'm logged into this controller here, and what I want to do is I want to come over to these graphs, right? And these are the KE2s, which are cool. I like them. Sometimes they're a pain in the ass to get into. They're a little finicky sometimes, but for the most part, I mean, they're pretty user-friendly. I think they're cool. But while we wait for these graphs to load, okay, so right there, let me fucking zoom into this. Do the old one-hand zoomer. So we can see that started going high temp. I wish there was a little bit more like the resolution for the top there. Oh my Lanta, look at us go. Okay. Asking you shall receive. So about 1730, it looks like everything went down. Now I'm sure it's not our defrost because our defrost breaker wasn't tripped. But if I go to here, I go to defrost, I can scroll down, and I can see they got 3 a day, 45 at 1:30 a.m. So what, 24 divided by 3 is every 8 hours. So 130, so 130, so every 130, right? Every 8 hours, 8, 16, 24. Yeah. So 1:30 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and then 17:30 a.m. Okay, so these tripped right as it went into defrost, it looks like. So if we go back to this graph, just want to consult it again. So that's what that looks like to me. As soon as it hit defrost, right? So we come in 17:30. So at some point in time during defrost, it tripped, and you can see where we just turned it back on, right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start forcing these cases into defrost and see if we trip. So what I'm doing right now is forcing all of these cases into defrost. I don't know why my circuits, that are not on the defrost circuit. My defrost breaker wasn't tripped. My control breaker was what was tripped. But because it looks like that's when it went out was during defrost, I'm gonna go ahead and put all these cases into defrost and see if it trips. All right, so I got all these cases into defrost. Right now I'm just kind of confirming. All right, I should be pulling, oh, that's volts. Should be pulling amps, which I am. Again, I don't think that it would be the case going into defrost because it was my control side, right? That tripped. My defrost breaker was still good, but just looking at the graph, that appears to be when it tripped was when it went into defrost. So I'm just checking, you know, put them all into defrost, make sure that they don't trip when it goes into defrost for some reason. But all of them are still on. All the displays are still good. So I'm gonna kick these out of defrost and then start checking all this wiring. And how I'm gonna check the wiring is I'm first just gonna start moving stuff around, right? I don't recommend this to anybody. I have trust and faith in my abilities, but I definitely don't recommend anybody doing this because this could end your life. All right, so I'm gonna do a little shake on everything, just checking for loose wires, seeing if anything pops. And then the second thing I'm doing is I got my, there it is, little insulated screwdriver. I'm gonna go through and make sure all of these are tight, which that is. So that's what I'm gonna do. I got this one, and then I got 1, 2, 3 more. I'm gonna do that to all 3. Hopefully I find something. If not, man, I don't know. This one might be a mystery. It might be one of those phantom shorts. You know what I mean? But let me do that, and we'll see what we find. Now I almost forgot. I also got my little trusty, like little terminal screwdriver that I'm going through, checking all these little ones at. You know, and this is the tedious part. This is the hard part for everybody, right? When it doesn't just jump out and bite you and say, look, I'm the issue. This is where you kind of earn your salt by going through and doing everything you can to figure out what the issue is. Not just flipping the breaker and walking away, not just running defrosting it, not tripping. Nope, we're gonna go through every single thing that we can to try to find what the issue was. So I'll get off my soapbox now. All right, and just like that, I think we found it. Just as I was putting this cover back on, I was trying to wiggle this right here, and I got a short. Those are all off again. So let me pull this back a little bit and see if I can find exactly where it's at. So upon further inspection, I just noticed this little arc right here, and I'm like, what the heck? Why would it be up there? I thought it came from down inside of that little chase right there. And you can see, where's it at? Right up in that corner, we got a little scorch mark. And then look over here, look what we got. Nice little rub out right there. So I'm gonna fix this, and then if you look, we trace it back, that goes right to our anti-sweats, lights, fans, right? So it didn't pop. You would think, right? That's that wire going in here. You'd think it would pop this breaker, but it didn't. So let me repair this wire, and then I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep searching, make sure there's not other stuff over those, you know. It's just like leak checking a rack. You find one leak, you don't stop, you keep going. So I'm gonna keep doing that, fix that, get the power back on, and then start checking those. All right, so I just got done going through the rest of these. I had our EMS guy grab me a new wire. I just replaced the whole thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you know. Got to make sure we're digging, finding these shorts. Breakers don't trip themselves. So I'm just gonna put all this stuff back together, make sure I don't pinch any wires on the way. But you know, as always, appreciate the support. Like, subscribe, share, you know, do all the things. And yeah, later.